All right, we're ready for podcast number 4, I believe.
That is number 4.
Yeah, so we're starting our Q&A series from the message we had on the board, and this week's topic is going to be accessories. So accessory work, accessories in the gym, yada yada. Starting things off, I guess we'll just talk about accessory work. What kind of like accessory lifts and things do you guys like to do when you're in the gym?
Besides deadlifting all the time?
That's not an accessory.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Recently, I actually started doing deficit deadlifts a lot, and I really like them. I feel like it added a fair bit of explosiveness off the floor. But other than that, I would say I really like just doing stuff like shrugs. I love doing the trap work.
Want to be Trapzilla?
Oh yeah, I just put that 3 plate on. I'm just doing warm ups. Oh yeah.
Right in the squat rack.
Yeah, because
do it.
Nowhere else can contain me. Nowhere else can contain my power.
We've been drinking, guys.
You guys have. Have you tried the snatch grip deadlifts that Gavin's been talking about a lot lately?
I dabbled in them a little bit, and the problem is I've never had grip issues, so I'm doing them. I'm like, it's not that hard. I'll just lift it. Not that hard. But that's, I don't know what it would, for me. I guess if I did them more often, I might see a little bit more of a carryover grip wise. But I would say what's helped me a lot more is the deficit deadlifts more than anything, other than just more deadlifting.
I don't know. I just like the snatch because I don't have to get out of plate or anything to stand on. I can turn them into a deficit deadlift.
Well, yeah, of course you got that little bit different range of motion because as you reach out, obviously you got to go a little lower. But I like being able to do the heavier weight on the deficit, even if it's just on a plate. Because I think I knocked out a 405 for a triple a couple weeks ago on the deficit.
Oh damn!
Nice. That felt pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that. And then I just I like shrugs because I like doing the upper back work. Upper back is where, for me, I have is something that I've worked a lot on, especially after I worked really hard on my shoulders right from the get-go because I knew they were weak. But then I have a back rounding issue. I still have it, especially for deadlifts, and a posture issue, which has gotten better. So doing stuff like the shrugs, trap work, face pulls, those little things that you don't think of doing all the time. I love doing those because my posture just instantly improves for a couple days after. I do some really good face pulls or some really good shrugs or just anything in that upper kind of rear delt, upper trap work. It's amazing.
Yeah, I found, at least what I try to do is, you have your core lift, your dead, your squat, your bench, whatever. And then all the accessory work I do after that is more to fix the imbalances and things. So I try to do a lot of dumbbell work, just because I know my left arm's way smaller than my right, and I'm trying to even things out. So no matter what I'm doing, I try to incorporate the dumbbells just so I can isolate each side.
The one thing I like to do for my back when I'm not wanting to do just two-handed rows or whatever is I like to do the Meadows rows. I know I've told you guys about them and I've posted about them a couple times, but that's where you have the T-bar set up, but instead of doing a row with the T-bar, you come around and have the weight on the outside of your body, and you actually stand perpendicular to it, and you grab it, and you need straps because the bar, of course, on that side of the barbell is really thick. You wrap up with your straps, and then you row it with one arm on each side, and it's especially good if you're beyond whatever your gym's dumbbell levels are, because my gym only goes up to 120 on the dumbbells, and I'm up to 175 a side for the Meadows rows, and they really help if you want to target some balance and just even if you just want to feel what that squeeze on your back's like.
Yeah, I can't say I'm there yet. I'm still in the standard dumbbell range for what I'm doing.
I just like back work.
Don't we all?
No.
What about you, Matt? Do you focus on anything or, have any favorite lifts that you do?
For the back, honestly, it's hard for me to get dumbbells in the size that I want at the time that I go to the gym because everybody in the world seems to be there to do dumbbells. So honestly, for my upper back, I try to superset wide grip pull-ups into anything that I do. So I'll deadlift, for example, and then I'll immediately hop up on the pull-up bar because it's right there, which sucks, let me tell you.
Yeah, that would suck. I don't do enough pull-ups. I should really do more of those.
No.
My problem is I'm too fat. I can do like 2, and then I'm done.
When I was a Marine, I could only do 2 pull-ups, and even if I had a guy down there beating me with a stick the whole time, I wasn't getting up any higher. But I lost all the weight, and I've been in the gym for a while, so it's getting much better. I'm doing sets of 10, which is real nice.
Impressive. You're no Mason, but
Even Mason's no Mason.
All right, so it seems like we all just go for the back when we're doing accessory work, apparently.
The back and the shoulders, that's
Back
about
and
it.
the shoulders. Gotta get the beach muscles. What about lifts that we hate? What kind of accessory stuff you loathe?
I actually, despite the fact that I do a lot of shoulder work, I really hate incline bench press. I cannot seem to progress on it. It feels weird for me to do it, and it might just be because I always do it at the wrong time. I haven't figured it out, but I really hate. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should do incline bench press." I'm like, "No, I fucking hate incline bench press." And I know you're supposed to do what you're weak at and what you need to improve on, but I just fucking hate incline bench press. I can't bring myself to do it. I will do literally anything else.
It's always bugged my shoulders, so I just avoid it at this point.
I think it might be I'm too shoulder dominant with it, and so then I'm like trying to do it, and I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of this fucking thing, and then I get frustrated with it.
I find I have to actually push forward when I'm doing an incline to get anything out of it in the areas I want. Like if I'm, trying for my chest, which is what I really want, then instead of pushing it straight up, I have to push it like I was trying to launch it up and over my feet, if that makes sense.
No.
No, I don't know a better way to describe it than that. So.
Kind of like you're throwing it almost, like throwing it out away from you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much about the intensity of the lift as it is the direction that I push. I'm not trying to push straight up against gravity. I'm pushing up and downwards along my body. I wonder if I could get my chair to do this thing. So instead of going up, I have to go this way with it, if that makes sense.
So you're completely defeating the purpose of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, kind of. That's the only way I feel any kind of activation in my chest at all. So.
I don't know. I know it's just the other day on Page we had a fight about I don't really do ab work anyway. I might do some cable twists or chops or whatever, or I do really enjoy hitting a tire with a sledgehammer. That's fun, but that's besides the point. But we're talking about doing crunches. And someone was, they had a ab challenge thing going on. And I can't tell you how much it drives me nuts when people think, it's a common misconception that that's the standard crunch is an ab exercise. But anything where you're kind of hinging at your hip, it's more of a hip flexor and not doing at all what you expect it to do.
The thing that bugs me about crunches is that anytime I try, like normal crunches, I just feel like I'm hurting my back. And then if I try and do like leg raises and stuff like that that are at the hip, I just end up getting like a lower ab cramp or like a pinch. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing this for? So
Right.
I'm exactly like you. I just do the twists. I do the cable twists, the wood choppers, diagonal up, down. One routine that I dabbled with and I thought was really good was I started doing down up. I would do like 3 sets of 12 and then just side to side, and then down, up, down. across the body, both sides, and it just destroyed my abs without weird pinching, cramping feelings
Yeah.
or
Well,
feeling like I
I
was
mean,
destroying my
all the
hips.
ones you listed, with leg raises and everything included, it's all your hip flexors down there lower, and like across your hips. And at least I know for me, I have they call it a what sports hernia, but it's a hip flexor issue. So that all hurts me anyway, so I avoid it. But um, the the crosses that you're talking about, I actually learned those in college because I was a thrower in track. So it's like a discus motion to go from top to bottom. You know, we always train for that.
Well, that and I don't feel, and it's not like ab work gets you abs anyways. So it's just nice to do to supplement for a strong core. But really, if you're doing the heavy compounds, don't really need to do them. I mean, they're just nice to do once in a while, or like in a stretch when you have time. But if you don't have time, just don't worry about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I've found that when I do things like Russian twists and whatnot, which I might do once a week, if I skip a week and just don't bother to do them, then the next week when I'm deadlifting, my lower back tends to hurt after the fact a little bit more than if I had, done this workout sometime during the week. And I don't know why that is, but I don't know. It's one of those things I've sort of discovered about myself. That's really the only reason I do ab work.
That makes sense. You want the
Yeah.
core to stabilize yourself. That's when you do things like that's why I've always liked front squats, because it kind of throws you off your center of gravity there. So it's putting more strain in your core then too. That's abs for me. Front squats.
To go on like a completely different path. Like for me to do when I do any accessory work, it's almost exclusively cable or barbell. I really don't like dumbbell work. Partly because a lot of it, when you get to a certain weight, you need someone to spot you or to help you, and it's a pain in the ass for me. And really, the only thing other than bicep curls with dumbbells is pretty much the only dumbbell work I do. I just generally don't. I can find an alternative that I can do without actually asking for help. So then that means dumbbells just get tossed to the wayside. If I never see a dumbbell again in my life, I'll be fine.
I don't know. I guess same reason. I can isolate with cables too, so I will do that. But different goals, different ways of going about it.
Except the Smith machine.
I will do shrugs on the Smith machine.
Ugh.
You're just going up and down a little bit anyway, so
Ugh.
it works.
Ugh.
Shut up.
The only time I'll use the Smith machine really is if I'm doing any kind of like calf raises or something like that. I don't mind using the Smith machine for that because the calf raise machine we have at the gym sucks ass. I've long since topped it out. So
I just rely on the fact that I was fat for good calves.
I think we're in the same club there.
Yeah,
I've
calf
got some beautiful burlesque calves from being fat.
Oh God, my calves are amazing for someone that never does any calf work. Like I'm not saying they're huge, but they're good. They're pretty good considering that I never touch them with like a 20-foot pole or a
Yeah.
barbell.
25 years of being fat, it helps.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
All right, well, let's switch this up. We talked about like accessory lifts and things. What about your gym accessories, your belts, wraps, straps, whatever?
Oh, well,
I know you have props, so
Well, I use the straps, the wraps, and the belt. Oh, I love them. I could never go without them. Not that I don't lift without them, but especially if I'm gonna do any of my compound work, I use them. I use my belt I'll use my belt for overhead press too. Use my belt for overhead press. I use it for squats and I use it for deadlifts, obviously. I use my wraps for bench press and overhead press. Sometimes for squats when my wrists are bugging me. And I use straps mostly for back accessory work. For the meadows rows, like I mentioned. Barbell rows I have a hard time with because of my wrist flexibility. So I always use straps for anything above about 185 pounds for barbell rows. And sometimes when I'm deadlifting, if my grips give me some issues, I'll use straps for part of the warm-up, just to help save my grip for the later lifts, and it hasn't seemed to affect me too much. And then, of course, I use chalk. I use liquid chalk, which whenever I can get real chalk, I'll use that, but liquid chalk is my go-to. I always have it on hand. It never leaves a huge mess, and I'm used to it, frankly, at this point in time. I've been using it for like 3 years.
How's it? How does it feel compared to standard chalk? I've never actually used it.
I would say it feels a little stickier because obviously it's a wet compound when you put it on. It's hard to compare because I don't get a chance to use the dry chalk much, other than I'd say my grip's a little more sure with the dry chalk, but of course you got to apply it more frequently. With liquid chalk, I maybe apply it twice, because over the course of like an hour of deadlifting, I usually wear it off to the point where I need to reapply it. But I don't find any grip issues between like switching from one to the other. So, but that just might be me because I'm used to the liquid chalk versus the regular chalk. But if someone's like a big regular chalk booster, they might find a big difference between the two.
Yeah, but it might be a good compromise between if your gym doesn't allow normal chalk, you can get away with it because it's clear.
Mine allows the normal chalk, but you have to be really careful because you got to clean up. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to clean up because it's not like they have bins there for you. You have to bring your own.
Right.
So I would rather use the liquid chalk in that case.
My gym has a CrossFit section, so I can throw chalk wherever the hell I want in school.
I do. I have a second membership at a CrossFit / Olympic lifting / powerlifting gym, but it's so far away. It's really hard for me to get to. I lift there like once a month as a result. But there's chalk everywhere. Chalk just cakes the whole place. Between the Olympic lifters, between the CrossFitters, and between the powerlifters, because the powerlifting club in town lifts there, you're breathing the shit in. So you have to have like a mask on if there's more than 5 people there. It's ridiculous.
I do wish my gym, at least in college, we had like metal brushes to clean off our bars because it can really cake on there and be nasty after a while. But whatever.
The one lucky thing is that the gym that I go to most of the time is really good for cleaning up, but also because I seem to be the only one that actually uses chalk other than the trainers. So it really helps that it's not like I leave a huge mess, and I never come to a barbell that's a huge mess because no one else has apparently discovered the wonders of chalk. So it works really well for me.
Yeah. All right, Matt. So you just got a belt. How are you liking the difference there?
Tell us that.
The words I have for that are holy shit. I kind of expected that when I put on a belt, for everybody out there, I just started using a belt for compound lifts this week for the first time. And I expected things would be, a little easier, that it would be kind of a learning curve, but things would be a little easier in the beginning and just get to the point where because I got used to it, things got easier. I put 40 extra pounds on that squat bar this week, and I wasn't topping myself out at all. So, yeah, belts for life, yo.
Yeah, it's really amazing. There's a few things out there that you wear it and immediately your lifts get better, and the belt is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys convinced me to get a good belt right off the bat, too. Because I was kind of thinking, okay, I'll get something cheap until I get used to wearing a belt, and then I'll buy something once I know what I'm after. And I, for once, actually listened to you guys and got something good right off the bat. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
So what was the thickness on the belt you bought? Because it might be distinguished.
Shit.
You got the competition belt, right?
Yeah, I got the big powerlifter belt.
It's the 10, I believe, is what they're.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 10. It's
so for anyone that's listening and has no idea about the actual belts, for competitions, usually a 10 millimeter leather belt is the gold standard for powerlifting competitions, and 13 millimeters are sometimes allowed, but the 10 millimeters are typically the ones that everybody lets you do and still are considered as a raw lift. So that's a good tip for anyone that might want to buy a belt that gets you the most mileage, because if you ever decide to compete, then you don't have to buy a new belt, right? You'll have your nice, comfortable, like my belt is a 10 millimeter belt, and I've had it for over 2 years now. and it's broken in. It fits me like a second skin. A really uncomfortable second skin, but it fits extremely well, and I wouldn't have to buy another belt. I wouldn't have to compromise and buy a second or third belt unless I wanted to. And it's really hasn't had any significant wear and tear, whereas my straps, and I'll show you because it's easier to show. My straps are getting these nice little wear marks on them from me beating the shit out of them. So Conrad, I really hope, and probably by the time this comes out, I'll have got it. I really hope you threw in some new straps for me, because otherwise I won't like it very much anymore if you didn't throw any free straps in there for me, you bastard.
Yeah, and then you'll notice the belts that we have. I have the same one Matt has. It's a solid width all the way around too. I believe it's a 4-inch belt.
Yeah.
And they make other ones that some taper in, some don't. But really, I feel like you should get the standard width all the way around, unless you really have issues with it pinching in your stomach, because you want your front abdomen to brace on that thick belt too, and that's really what's helping you stabilize your core. It's not so much as it's not a back support. It's a brace your abdominal wall against it support.
Yeah, these aren't back braces you get at a hospital. These aren't like the dip belts that you get for dipping with weight. These are meant to brace against your ab wall at certain points. And actually, although I know Matt just bought his belt, but I actually for deadlifts have been trying the high position on belts, and I'll show you guys because it's easier to show and tell.
Show off.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! So, if anyone's watched the guy that was at Carmichael's comp, I don't remember his name now. It's gonna kill me. I don't remember his name. I didn't look it up. Anyways, he wears his belt super high, and for deadlifts, it's a recommendation you wear it super high. Now, most people wear their belt. Now, you guys get to watch.
Full mass, baby.
Kind of like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, right there. Kind of right at the bottom. Right on the stomach. But for the high belt, I found nice and high like there.
That high up.
Your lats getting in the way?
Nope, not really.
Where are the bottom of your ribs? Can you point your finger where they are for the viewer?
I say that my sternum is right there, so right under there.
Okay.
It's digging into my ribs a little bit. But for me, I'm not going to tell anybody else to wear it there unless it works for you. For me, I found that I always had lower back pain, partly from wear and tear, partly from an injury, from all sorts of other things. But I found that wearing it up high lets me brace better and actually kind of take my lower back out of the equation for deadlifts. Now for squats, I still wear it low, and that's still the best spot for me, is to wear it nice and low with lots of support on my lower back. So when I'm in the hole, you can insert your joke right there. When I'm in the hole, it's easier for me to push out with my abs and push out of the hole. Because in the hole, I'm at my weakest, unfortunately. But
Can you say in the hole one more time?
Get in the hole.
The thing to realize about a belt is that it's not passive. This isn't something that you strap on and then it just gets better. It's meant for you to brace your abs against, your back and your abs against, so that you can push your diaphragm up and push that platform below your stomach down, kind of create a positive pressure. So it's not a back brace. It's not a stomach brace, and it's not just an accessory that you kind of tie on and it just works on its own. You got to put some effort into it.
And I know I've heard several people say they think it's a cheating sort of thing because it immediately knocks your weight up when you're doing it, but it's more of it helps you push a little farther. So, you wear it up to the point where around 80% of my when at max is normally when I put my belt on, but then it helps you, increase the intensity of your workout because you can automatically jump up your weight then. So it's not a cheat to me. It's just a tool to add more weight to your, to your routine.
I only think it's cheating if it's not considered raw lifting, and not cheating. Cheating is kind of a glib term, but if you want to lift a raw lift, then you don't want to wear, a squat suit or deadlift suit or whatever. But a belt or wrist wraps, chalk, those all count. So to me, it doesn't matter. If your lift then is still a good raw lift at that point. And beyond that, I don't really give a crap what anyone else thinks.
At the end of the day, for somebody who's not interested in competing, somebody like me, you know, I'm interested in getting stronger, you know, in being healthier, in looking better, that sort of thing. I'm not interested in lifting for competition. So I couldn't care less if it's a raw lift or if it's not, if it's assisted, as long as I'm getting stronger. And the ability to lift more weight to stimulate those muscles more is going to make me stronger faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I started using straps, is because I was a little bit hesitant to invest in straps because my grip has always been a strength, and I never wanted it to be a weakness. But then that just meant that I needed to be smart about using them. And when I use straps, it's for a purpose, and it's only for a very short amount of time. And, you know, I already touched on it a little bit, but meadows, rows, you can't really do without straps because of the way the barbell's set up. It also helps for me with my wrist being kind of crappy, which means I probably will never do Olympic lifts. For something like barbell rows, or even if I was to do dumbbell rows or whatever, it just allows me to not worry about my grip because I don't have grip issues, and to focus on the point of the exercise, which, especially for barbell rows, is the squeeze in the lats to get, you know, that back strength and that size. Or for shrugs, I can shrug the way that I do without straps, but the point is that to take my wrists and my grip out of the equation means I can do more reps for my traps and upper back, and then I can get more for that muscle group and not have to worry about my wrists or my forearms holding me back from getting the most out of that exercise. So that doesn't mean I don't. And when I deadlift, I'm using straps maybe 10% of the time. So my grip has never suffered as a result of me using straps. If anything, everything else is improved because I'm not allowing something like grip strength for a specific exercise or a specific movement or wrist issues, which I've always had wrist issues, hold me back from advancing my compound lifts through my accessories.
All right. Well, to move on, you know, we've talked about our gym gear, I guess, but do you guys have anything at home, like, you know, pull-up bars or ab wheels or anything else you use at home?
I've got both of those things, and I never use them. The pull-up bar I would use if it was more fixed, but it's one of those indoor models that sort of relies on its positioning and your body weight to keep it where it is. And you know,
they've always made me nervous.
Yeah, if it hung there on its own, if it was something that was installed, I would use it. But the fact that I have to put it up, hold it up, and put my own body weight on it slowly for it to want to hang there. And it's a little uncomfortable, too, just because I have to bend my knees. I'm a tall guy, and the doorway is only like 6.5 feet up, you know, at its top. So I've got to bend my knees into a weird, uncomfortable position to use the thing, and it's just not something I'm interested in using all the time unless I'm just really, really bored.
I used to have a pull-up bar, and I used it when I had it, but it never came with me when I moved, and frankly, I can do all that stuff at the gym. The only thing I have at home otherwise would be, I guess, stuff to work out knots and stuff in my legs, and my IT band, and to roll on, or the stick.
I know we all have foam rollers.
Team Red Rocket.
Yeah, we all have foam rollers. Everyone's seen our foam roller.
Yeah, that's about all I have too.
We got one of these little things too for just working the
Sticks are amazing, yeah.
Yeah, this one's not really the good one, but I'm actually using it as a weight to keep something down right now, like a paperweight. But yeah, this is really, really good to just have in the gym bag for when you have a really hard leg day and you just know your legs are going to feel like jelly and you're just going to be all fucked up for the rest of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of foam rolling, using the stick. I have a lacrosse ball that I use sometimes when you just need to get that one certain knot that you need to get out. So all those are really nice. But I don't have no pull-up bars or anything. I have a bike. I don't know if that counts.
All right. You know, I don't have a lacrosse ball. I have a tennis ball or something. But honestly, in lieu of a lacrosse ball, I like to use this thing that I call the Zim.
This isn't that kind of show, Matt.
It's one of these massagers. But I can get these little points. I can lay it on its back, like if I've got a spot in my back or something that really hurts, and I can just sort of get myself on one of these points and just lay there and orgasm, because I don't have to put any kind of weight on it. I don't have to roll back and forth on it or anything like that. So call it a cheat if you want.
So what we've learned is that we are really terrible at exercising at home, and we need the gym.
Yes.
And then we need someone else to speak to this particular part of the topic. But people did learn. We all have foam rollers, and we all have sticks.
We all know I have the biggest roller, but who has the biggest stick?
Ooh. Oh no.
Oh wait, did I mishear that?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, we already talked about how you needed a Zoom. Sorry.
Oh, you gotta go bring up old shit.
That was an in-joke. Sorry, everybody.
All right.
Don't make me lift this kill.
Is there anything that you guys do want to try out, or you've seen and want to own at some point?
Bands and chains. A, to look like a badass with the chains, and B, because they actually have a point. But I'm not at the point yet where I think I would need them. But it would be something that I would look to implement in my workouts. I would say sooner rather than later. But like I said, I don't think I'm at the point where I need them yet, based on the use of that progressive overload, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. As you lift up a chain or press against the band, it gets more difficult, because a lot of the times I actually find that I have more difficulty at the bottom of movement than at the mid or top point. If I get to a certain point in any of my compounds, I know I got it. So I think they would still be useful for me, and I would still probably try them, just to say that A, I tried them, and B, because again, chains are pretty badass to have, especially you got them wrapped around your neck and you do the dips. Like that, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, now that you mention it, I completely forgot about bands. I keep meaning to order some, just more for mobility stuff than lifting or anything.
I guess some of the hip opening stuff would be kind of nice. Like I've seen people have success with the having the bands around their knees.
Yeah, that's what I want. My hips are shitty, so I'll get out. So I'm trying to open them up. Open the hip. I need slutty hips, in the words of Betsy and Nick.
That's part of the problem. That's why I have so many problems with sumo deadlifting. I should probably be sumo deadlifting, but I just can't get comfortable doing it. It kind of pisses me off, actually, because my conventional deadlift is so good. I'm like, I could probably do sumo deadlifts, all right, and I do respectably, but it's a struggle by comparison to the conventional. So I think doing some extra hip work would probably help me with that. And bands in that case would probably be a good solid investment, if only just to open my hips up a little bit to be open for business.
Yeah, there was a Barbell Shrugged, a mobility WOD thing that they did not too long ago, and a lot of it was on opening up the hips and the legs. So I need to get on that.
Matt's just having a giggle because he's like, I just bought it out.
Oh, all right. Well, if there's not anything else you guys want to talk about on this one, I think we can close this this first Q&A out.
Yeah, I'm
nope,
good with that.
I think I'm good. Just a teaser for everyone for what's coming up is there's going to be some stuff on injuries. There's going to be hopefully a little bit more stuff on programming, and as everyone's kind of noticed, we do a lot of stuff geared towards newbies. So hopefully we're going to do a little bit more stuff focused on, especially your first time doing X or Y exercise, stuff to look for. Try to give everyone a little bit of a helping hand. I'm just getting started so that, just like if you watched our first podcast, you don't fuck up like the rest of us did.
All right, and on that, we're out.